I work at AFTV, I've got Robbie with me. We've just drawn 0-0 here at the City Ground to Nottingham Forest. I'm smiling, I don't know why, because, well, it was better than what we've seen, especially from the West Ham game, say, for us.
Yeah, it was a good reaction to Saturday, like performance-wise. You know what I mean? Every player put the right effort in, you know what I mean? They tried their hardest, but we're toothless up front. That's the thing, we're just utterly toothless with the injuries, with the players that are missing. We just have no attacking threat, and then, you know, it's going to sound like a broken record, the fact that we never brought anybody in. This is what happens. We reap what we sow, you know what I mean? Well, not we, the fans, because we're here. We want to see goals, we want to see, you know, but when you get a team, I mean, I just saw the coaches leaving there. I thought that was the Forest team. They made absolutely no effort to score today. They just parked the bus and said, you know, come and break us down. We know they're a very good defensive team. Did they even have a shot on goal or shot? I'd love to know even how many times they were even in our half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They came for the, well, not came for the draw, it's their home.
It felt like that. The keeper was wasting time towards the end. He wasn't picking up the ball. He was waiting for someone to close him down.
From minute one, they wanted a draw, right? So those are the games that are really, really difficult. That's where you need those attackers. That's when you need your striker. That's when you need your lots of wing players. And apart from Ethan Wanyeri, there was no other threat for Arsenal. You know what I mean?
Surprised to see him come off?
I think he was knackered, didn't he? Remember on Saturday he had to come off. He was cramping up and stuff like that. You can't kill the kid, can you? You know what I mean? That's it. We're relying on the 17-year-olds. But somebody in January thought that'd be all right. You know what I mean? We can rely on a 17-year-old. We can rely on Trossard. We can rely on, you know, well, they didn't know. Well, actually, nobody knew that Havertz were going to get injured. But you could, you know, sit down and say to yourself, well, what if Havertz gets, you know, hamstrings out for a couple of weeks? What if, you know, something happens to Martinelli? What if there's a dip in form? What if somebody gets sent off, accumulates, you know, a lot of yellow cards, so he has to miss a game? What then? They didn't take any of that into account, because I think they just said to themselves, you know what? Are we really going to catch Liverpool? We'll just save it until the summer. That's what it seems like to me, and this is what you get now. You know what I mean? When you've got games like this that are really, really, really tight, you need that player that can unlock it.
We had Sterling. He's an attacking option.
Come on, like he came on and he dived. You know, he got a yellow. Did he get a yellow card?
No, he didn't get a yellow card, but he got a dive.
Yeah,
he dived.
You know what I mean? Like he's again. We knew in January. Yeah, we knew in January that Sterling's not the one. He's been badly off form since the day he's come at Arsenal. We knew he weren't the one, but somebody thought we could rely on him. I don't know who, whether it's the manager, whether it's the owners of the club, the boards. But it's now you're seeing why that decision was so poor. And like Lee said, in the summer they better go big. I don't think.
He's saying two strikers, two midfielders.
We can't afford to. You know, I mean, next year I feel is make or break for Mikel Arteta. You know, I mean, if he doesn't, you know, win something substantial.
Do you feel like we're saying that every season now? Does it feel like
I feel next year like there's, you know, it's been a while now, so, you know, he'll get a pass this year because of the amount of injuries and stuff like that. But next year, you know, number one, you've got to cover off that you can get injuries. You know what I mean? And we haven't done it. It's been bad luck, the amount of injuries we've had to all those key players. But they didn't do nothing about it. They didn't do nothing about it in January.
How's your feeling right now, Rob? Is it frustration? Is it disappointment? Is it anger, or is it just calm? Because it's a 0-0 result. You can't really be too happy after a 0-0, but you can't be too sad.
I'm not angry because the effort was there. I was angry with the lack of effort on Saturday. I thought we was way too casual. We didn't treat it like a big game. We were casual. We just bopped the ball around, just thinking, and we got done. I thought tonight, from the very start of the game, you know what I mean, the tempo was right, the intensity was right, you know what I mean, we defended brilliantly, the midfield was good, you know, I thought everything was right about that, apart from up front, and it weren't from a lack of effort, but Mikel Merino's not a striker, is he? Mikel Merino's not a striker, you know, so, you know, you can't blame people that are doing jobs that's not really them. I mean, look, we're having to rely and call upon guys like Kieran Tierney, you know, who I thought did really well when he came on, by the way. but would have been gone in January if we had the right players in.
Yeah.
So, no, listen, it's what these guys thought. Well, I don't know. Did they think it'd be any different? When you come to places like this,
that's the big $1 million question.
when you look at Nottingham Forest and their defensive record, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. When they're basically playing for a point, you need, those players that like Liverpool have got in your Salahs and people like that. We got it in Saka's and that, but they're not here. So what do? You go and get somebody else in, but they didn't get anybody.
Talking of Salah, are you checking other scores when you're here watching the games?
Well, what's the point? That league thing was finished from Saturday. That was not even, when you were saying to me, oh, Liverpool are winning 1-0, I was like, yeah, and even if Liverpool lost tonight, they're still going to win the league. You know what I mean? Like, we threw it away on Saturday. We had a chance to put pressure on them, right? We didn't put pressure on them, and then it was they coasted to that win over City, and after that, I felt that was it. It was done. You know what I mean? Like, from we lost that game against West Ham, it was over. We needed to be nigh on perfect from now till the end of the season, and we can see we're not going to be because we just don't have those attacking players.
Yeah, talk to me about Jorginho, because Thomas Partey, for me, I was surprised to see him not start tonight. Maybe some fans will say he wasn't good in the last couple of games, but for me, he's been a standout midfielder for us.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game on Saturday, and I don't think there was nothing wrong with leaving him out. I thought Jorginho played well tonight. Jorginho played well. The back four played really well. You know what I mean? The midfield in general, I thought it was a better game by Odegaard tonight. You know what I mean? Even though, still looking for a bit more from him, but I thought it was a much better improved performance. But just toothless, as I said, up front. Who's going to score?
That's again another $1 million question. Would you give Jorginho an extension?
I wouldn't be against that, you know what I mean, because I think he's a good squad player. Every time he come in this year, he's not a filler, is he? He comes in and he does a really good job. Yeah, he's going to leave. I think I'd read where he's got sort of a pre-agreement with Flamengo to go to them in the summer, but he's been good. He's been one of the better players that come from Chelsea, isn't it? You know what I mean? But he's been good since then. He's a leader on the pitch.
Correct. I agree with that.
It's not on players like that tonight. You know what I mean? We just got no attacking players, no striker, no wide players. You know what I mean? You can see why Trossard is an impact player and not a starting player. You know what I mean? If he had options, Trossard would have been off ages ago. It wasn't that he was terrible, but he wasn't getting any joy. You would have bought him off. You would have bought off Ethan earlier because he looked knackered. You would have bought off Marino. But for who? Who are you going to bring on? We're having to bring on defenders to cover off for them. Zinchenko's playing further forward.
I thought he was bringing on a new player. I said, there's a new player coming on. Hold on, and it was Thomas Partey. It was so far.
I'll tell you what, I saw one of the coaches curling the couple in.
In the warm-up.
I was like, get a shirt on him, man, let him start.
Top bins.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, Arsenal Football Club should not be in this situation where they cannot field forward players. This is Arsenal Football Club, man.
Ridiculous.
How can Arsenal Football Club be in this position? If it would have happened in February, and, fair enough. But they knew this could happen. Arsenal Football Club should not be in this position, man. It's a disgrace that these guys fall. And nobody's being wise after. We all said it in January.
Facts.
Well,
Here's what it is.